Hello, all my beautiful souls, and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I'm doing a reading for the beautiful sign of Aries for the month of February 2022. I hope all my Aries friends are doing well. As you know, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that may not resonate with you. Only take the parts that do resonate and leave the rest for someone else. I've already meditated on the cards, I've already shuffled the cards, and this is a spread that I have for you today, dear Aries. In the past position, we have the Nine of Cups, clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. In the challenging position, we have the Fool, clarified by the Hermit. In the present position, we have the High Priestess, clarified by the Eight of Cups. And in the future outcome position, we do have the Two of Swords, clarified by the Ace of Wands. Very interesting spread. Let's get right into it. In the past position, we do have the Nine of Cups, which tells me that in the past you were able to achieve something that really made you happy and feel emotionally fulfilled. You were able to kind of find that inner happiness with yourself, because that is, of course, important, to find happiness with yourself before you offer happiness and share happiness with someone else. But definitely there was a time where you were able to create success for yourself, and it was something that you were really proud of, dear Aries. Now, in the clarifying position, we do have the Eight of Pentacles, which is a card of mastering something, putting in the time and the energy in order to create stability, in order to create abundance as well. Definitely it is very important to stay committed to the task at hand. And also, the Eight of Pentacles is also about sacrifice. It's really understanding that sometimes sacrifice is actually needed in order to achieve whatever it may be. But you sacrifice time, you sacrifice energy, you sacrifice time with friends or with family or what have you, in order to create abundance down the road. But definitely this is a very wonderful combination. It's all about being really successful and realizing that you can have that satisfaction, you can have that happiness with yourself, where you feel that alignment between your spiritual self, your heart, and your mind. It's very important to remember that alignment allows you to manifest wonderful things into your life. It allows you to attract the things you want, so that your life becomes more full, and as a result you become more happier. But definitely this is a wonderful combination, and the divine here is reminding you that you can achieve this fulfillment and this happiness with yourself, again, as long as you stay committed to the task at hand, as long as you continue working by planting seeds, by putting in the water on those seeds and tending to those seeds so that they grow, so that you can then reap the harvest they produce. Now, in the challenging position, we have the Fool and the Hermit. Both of these cards are very powerful cards, very meaningful. So in February, there's going to be definitely a major turning point for you. It's interesting because you have these major arcana cards, and you have the High Priestess as well. Three very powerful major arcana cards are in this spread, telling me that the month of February is definitely going to be a month where you will need to really pay attention to details. You will need to make sure you really observe before you act. And the High Priestess is actually a card of non-action. She calls to kind of observational approach more than to jump in and kind of go for it, if you will. The month of February is going to be a month where you may want to kind of sit back and let things play out. The Fool in the challenging position definitely tells me that there may be some delays in something you're trying to start, because the Fool obviously is a card of a new cycle starting. We do see the zero at the very top of this card, which signals that a new cycle is going to begin, of course. But when you have the Fool in the challenging position, position, definitely it tells me that you may be leaping forward without really paying attention to all the details and all the other things kind of surrounding this new beginning. Definitely there may be some delays when it comes to that. The Fool warns us not to put our heart ahead of our kind of brain, if you will, because sometimes our heart wants to just leap for it and go for it and do whatever it wants. But it is also important to be smart and intelligent and prepared and considerate, and also kind of evaluate the risks as well. Those things are definitely important to look around and observe the details before you sort of go for it. The Fool also warns us against being overly optimistic about things, because sometimes we want something to work out so bad that we ignore perhaps the warning signs or the red flags. So definitely it is important to observe before kind of moving forward. The Hermit in the clarifying position is all about kind of feeling a little lost, feeling maybe a little bit self-absorbed as well, maybe withdrawn, and as a result, feeling resentment because of that. The Hermit in the challenging position generally suggests to me that you may be a little bit overwhelmed by worries and anxiety, and kind of lost in darkness of your own mind, if you will. So definitely the slowing down and pausing is very important before you proceed forward. You don't want to rush into something and then having to go back and redoing different things in order to fix a situation. So definitely in the month of February, you may want to meditate. You may want to kind of check in with yourself. It's important to have, a time that you set aside for yourself where you address your own concerns and your own fears and your own illusions that you create, because sometimes we create fear where there is none, if you will. So it's definitely important to be aware of that. Now, in the present position, we have the High Priestess. Generally, the High Priestess is a card that makes an appearance when we're not really sure how things are going to go, because she is so guarded, because she is so kind of mysterious, if you will. The High Priestess is someone who kind of she's like the gatekeeper of sacred knowledge, of also the knowledge that you have in your subconscious as well. She sits in between these two columns. One is a black column with the letter B, which is for Boaz, which is pillar of strength, and the other column is J, the white column, which is the column that stands for Jachin, the pillar of establishment. And the colors here are important because they represent duality. Duality can sometimes force us to do things, that we don't always feel happy doing. So she kind of offers a third way because she's the third pillar. She is the gatekeeper of sacred knowledge, if you will. Very much corresponds to the Hierophant. She's someone who kind of wants you to follow your own intuition, who wants you to trust your own gut. You already know how you feel inside, so trust those feelings. Listen to those feelings. They're there for a reason, and see what messages you can kind of deduce from those feelings as well, because all our emotions, all our feelings carry important messages to ourselves. Sometimes we misinterpret them and we act upon them, but the High Priestess teaches us to kind of take it slow, if you will. She also wears this crown of Isis, which means she's a believer of magic, and there are many people who say magic is all around us, and you can see it with the eyes that are in your heart, if you will, because sometimes you can see things with your heart that you cannot see with your eyes. So that is important to remember. The High Priestess reminds us not to allow our doubt. Well, is this going to work out? Well, does this person like me? Or does my boss like me? Or does my friend? Well, why did my friend say this? And they looked weird when they said that. You know, the High Priestess kind of works with the doubts that we have inside of us, and she helps us kind of work through them. She is a major arcana card that reminds us to do what is right, because you of course already know what is right, and she someone who helps for you to make the impossible possible. It's interesting that the High Priestess here is clarified by the Eight of Cups, because the Eight of Cups is telling me that your priorities are changing in the month of February. You're realizing that something is no longer what you thought it was, or you are not seeing the potential in a situation or in a relationship anymore. And so you are reevaluating and you're changing your priorities, because we do see this person walking away from something that they've spent a lot of time building. The Eight of Cups is a structure, you know, that this person spent a lot of time and energy and put in a lot of effort as well, and realizing that something isn't working, or something is never going to be what you want it to be, and walking away from it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of determination. But the High Priestess here is helping you. She's telling you your intuition is spot on. If there's something that is not working, you need to walk away from it. You need to lovingly detach, disengage, because there's something that is better in store for you. There's a better relationship. There is a better situation. There is a better, I don't know, living conditions, if you will, you know, where you are more in control of your own life and decisions that you make in your life, where you feel freer, where you feel stronger, where you feel much more kind of like, I'm taking on, you know, extra responsibilities so I can be more powerful than I normally am. But, you know, definitely the High Priestess is a very, very good omen. I really like that she's in this spread, because this combination with the Fool and the Hermit, you know, I won't lie to you, but it is somewhat difficult. Especially like with the Hermit, he can be difficult. He can bring about a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. You know, this is someone who is withdrawn. This is someone who can be very controlling. And if this is someone in your life, then it can be very difficult to stay away from that low vibrational energy. At the same time, if this represents your energy as well, that can be also, you know, quite difficult to kind of increase the frequency of your vibration, because everything, remember, is all about energy and vibration and the frequency. You know, when you want to attract things that the universe has to offer, you have to give off a certain signal, you know, so that it gets picked up, if you will. But in the future outcome position, we do see the Two of Swords, which tells me there's going to be a decision you're going to have to make towards the end of the month. But one thing that stands out to me very clearly is that you do have three different moons. You have the crescent moon, you have the moon in the Eight of Cups, and you also have another crescent moon in the Two of Swords card. So beware in the month of February, be very aware that deception and secrecy, something that isn't true, is coming to light in the month of February. Something is going to be revealed, and this is why the divine here is letting you know, observe, observe, observe. The month of February is not the month of taking lots of action. You want to be very careful. You want to see which way the wind is blowing before you kind of gallop forward and take action. That's why you have the Fool in the challenging position, because there's a little bit of delay, if you will. But the Two of Swords tells me that you're going to have to make a decision, and you're not really sure about this decision because you don't really want to rock the boat. There will be people or situations that you don't want to destabilize, you don't want to upset. And so, you may be also feeling the pressure to please others as well. And so, kind of maybe some of you will make a decision to stay in limbo rather than make a decision and move forward. Definitely watch your emotions, because we do see the water behind this Two of Swords, is kind of a little bit hectic, if you will, which tells me that your emotions are going to be uncertain. Remember, breathing exercises are very, very important. Definitely, you want to make a decision that is right for you. I would not advise making the decision based on what other people want you to do. Sometimes you have to kind of go on a long walk or separate yourself somehow from other people and really ask your intuition, what is it that's going to make you happy, and then make that decision based on that. But the wonderful thing is that we have the Ace of Wands in the clarifying position, because the Ace of Wands is all about new beginnings, potential that's going to be realized. The Ace of Wands reminds us, take a risk. And you definitely want to take a risk when it comes to this decision, because that risk will pay off for you, dear Aries. That is important to remember. Let's see what we can clarify with the Shaman's Dream Oracle cards that I pulled. And we have Straddling Worlds, Wandering Between Realms. We also have Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain. Very interesting. And again, with the Moon, there's an element of deceptiveness. There's an element of secrecy very much in the month of February, and it's going to be coming to light. There is something that is coming to light in the month of February, and it's going to affect how you see other people, how you see different situations in your life. So that will be very interesting. But let's start with the Straddling Worlds card, which is all about being comfortable in two states, wandering between realms, and reinventing. When the Straddling World card shows up, it's an invitation to get used to living with one foot in your old world and one foot in the new. There's no going back to the way things once were, and what will be is not fully here yet. You must find the delicate balance that can bring you delight as you relish the past and all your memories, along with awe as you glimpse the astonishing and exciting future. Straddling Worlds invites you to become a true wizard, not one who performs magic tricks, but one who mastered the dance between the visible and the invisible worlds, between the realms of form and formlessness. You are the birther of new ideas, of original and sustainable ways of being in the world. And of course, the Fool's Embrace is all about allowing life to love you, the experience of both. And the pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we are in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with the pain and what we make it mean. If we let in, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today, as you feel the Fool's Embrace, definitely, this card calls to befriend this tension that you may feel on the inside. Be a friend to it rather than resisting it, rather than running from it or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile, because it is the way of the nature that creates progress inside of us. What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open you up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the Fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure. And of course, you have the Fool. And at the end, when you have integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey, he will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. That is a very absolutely incredible card, very deep in meaning. But let's see what we can clarify with the two energy oracle cards that I pulled as well. We have Storm Warning and Angel of Strength. Interesting. The Storm Warning is all about the clouds that may be on the horizon. This card indicates a potential difficulty. It does not indicate a difficulty. It indicates a potential. There may be a difficulty in your emotional life. The difficulty is coming closer, and you may have already heard the rumblings of potential problems. The caution here is to be conscious yet not fearful. Consider what's going on and look at the situation with calm clarity. Investigate your options. Honor yourself and your intentions. Stand up for yourself. Take action on your own behalf. As with all difficulty, even the worst storm passes. Always remember you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. And this is why you have the Angel of Strength. Personal power and inner strength is given to you for the month of February. This amazing angel brings the news that this is time of increasing power for you. It's not the time to be passive or submissive, but to speak your truth and take action on your own behalf. You are capable of taking greater control and directing your own destiny, for the power that comes from within reaches out to the universe and beyond. Inner strength and unlimited resourcefulness flow through you at this time, helping you to create real results. Call upon this wonderful angel and on your own inner resourcefulness to bring you the focus and resolve to do what's necessary in order to make your dreams a reality. I hope you enjoyed this reading, dear Aries. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I hope to see you next time.